Imagine gripping a frozen steering wheel as your 18-wheeler slides on an invisible sheet of ice. Outside, a whiteout swallows the road. You can't tell where the asphalt ends and the abyss begins. Your tires struggle for traction, but the road has other plans. Every winter, America's truckers risk everything to keep supply chains moving. But some roads, they're monsters in disguise, twisting through snow-covered mountains, battling hurricane-force winds, and testing the limits of human endurance. Truckers don't just face snow, they face unforgiving terrain, unpredictable weather, and life-threatening conditions. Some of the most feared winter routes in the U.S. include 1. Dalton Highway, Alaska, 414 miles of pure ice and isolation. Temperatures drop to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit, freezing fuel lines in minutes. Zero roadside assistance, breakdown, and you're on your own too. Donner Pass, California, named after a doomed expedition that ended in cannibalism. Sudden whiteouts make visibility 0-1 mistake, and you're tumbling off a cliff. 3. I-80 in Wyoming crosswinds up to 65 miles per hour turn trucks into kites. Sudden snow squalls cause 100-plus vehicle pileups. Treacherous black ice makes stopping impossible. 4. U.S. Route 550, Colorado, million-dollar highway. Sheer drop-offs, no guardrails, and extreme snowfall. Avalanche risk is constant, one of the most feared winter roads in the U.S., but these truckers don't back down. They push forward, armed with experience, instinct, and the unshakable will to survive. So how do they do it? Let's step into the cab of real truckers who have braved these roads and lived to tell the tale. 1. The veteran, Ice Road Mike, surviving Alaska's Dalton Highway. Mike has driven Dalton Highway for 20 years. He's seen trucks vanish into frozen rivers, drivers freeze to death overnight, and fuel tanks turn into blocks of ice. Dalton ain't a road, it's a test. If you don't respect it, it'll kill you. Mike's survival tips. Tire chains are your lifeline. No chains, no grip. No grip, no control. Never stop for too long. Engines freeze. Once that happens, you're stuck. Always carry a survival kit. If you break down, help might not come for days. The reality? If you get stranded up here, your biggest threat isn't the road, it's the cold itself. The rookie. Jackson's nightmare on I-80, Wyoming. Jackson thought he had seen it all until his first winter on I-80 in Wyoming. One night, he was caught in a sudden whiteout. 1 second, the road was clear. The next, a wall of snow. I hit the brakes. Nothing. Just a sickening slide. My truck was a 40-ton sled. He barely avoided a 50-truck pileup, but some weren't so lucky. Jackson's survival tips. If brake lights vanish in a whiteout, immediately slow down. Keep at least 10 seconds of space between vehicles. If you're caught in zero visibility, don't guess where the road is. One mistake and you're part of the wreckage. 3. The mountain trucker. Sarah and the Donner Pass disaster. Sarah, one of the few female truckers tackling Donner Pass, knows how dangerous it is. It's not just the snow, it's the black ice, the sudden fog, and the other drivers who panic. One guy ahead of me hit his brakes too hard, jackknifed, and slid off the road. She barely escaped getting caught in a massive pileup. Sarah's survival tips. Low gear, slow descent. Let the truck control you, not the other way around. Never rely on GPS alone. Winter conditions make it unreliable. Always assume there's ice, even if you can't see it. Every winter, someone doesn't make it home. I don't plan on being one of them. More survival strategies from the pros truckers don't just rely on experience, they rely on preparation. Here's what keeps them alive. Weather tracking. Every trucker has at least 3 weather apps running at all times. One miscalculated storm, and you're trapped. Jackknife prevention. Avoid sudden braking. If your trailer swings out, steer into the skid, not against it. Emergency gear. Every pro trucker carries extra diesel anti-gel, sleeping bag rated for minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, food and water for 72 hours, backup GPS and a CB radio cell signals die in blizzards. Winter trucking isn't just about skill, it's about staying alive. If you're on the road, be prepared. Keep chains, emergency gear, and know your limits. If you're a driver, share your story in the comments. What's the worst storm you faced? And if you've ever driven these roads, you know, winter doesn't care who you are. When the blizzard howls and the ice thickens, only one question remains: can you survive?